So I have the queen of financing with me, Miss Theri Isaac with North Point Mortgage, and I know the most important question that's coming to your head right now is what the heck is going on with interest rates, right? That's the question. Well, stay tuned. We're going to clue you in exactly what we know, what's going on with interest rates. So I'm really fortunate to have valued business partners that I do business with. I've got a great lender that I work probably like almost every single one of my buyers with, and they have great service with her. And it's really important once you find that person that can do all the different type of loan programs and give great customer service to your people, that you stick with that person and everyone's really happy. So let's talk about interest rates. I did a video about 3 weeks ago about the overall real estate market in my area in Panama City Beach, and we talked about rates some. And I guess part of that conversation, and still is that you got to stop thinking about what the rates have been for the past couple years, because we don't foresee that changing. We don't foresee those going back down. Okay, so you're just going to have to kind of get over that a little bit. But let's talk about the reason that the interest rates went up. The reason the interest rates went up was to stop this crazy acceleration of pricing for real estate, for properties, okay? So I will give you an example. In the past 2 years, we're gonna use a condo as an example, investment, because that's the easiest way to kind of show you how this worked. So you'd have let's say, condo come on the market for $500,000, right? And because the market was so hot, it would go under contract like that, like less than 2 hours sometimes, just you couldn't even get in to see it. And then the next one that would get listed, say, a day later or a week later, would be priced at $520. Okay, so it went from $500 to $520. No reason, no particular rhyme or reason, no thought process behind that, just an automatic jump. Then that would go into contract super lightning fast. Next one, $540. Next one, $560. Trust me, I've been watching this for the last 2 years. So it became increasingly hard for realtors like me who've been doing this full time and want all of my, say it's an investment property, all my investors to be successful, to make sure that they were going to make money on these units. Because if you were having these huge jumps from unit to unit to unit, number one, if you were financing, that thing's probably not going to appraise, right?
Oftentimes.
Oftentimes. And number two, are you going to make any money on it? Because that's the goal of investment property, right? So, so what you have to understand is, though, even the rates went up, but now prices flattened off. They stopped. It took like a big like just breaks. Like it was like almost overnight.
The mission was achieved.
The mission was achieved. The mission was achieved. They slowed down pricing.
Slowed down, by doing the rate increases, and yes, they were fast. From first quarter to third quarter this year, we have seen tremendous increases in rates, unprecedented increases in rates. But what we have also seen on the flip side, which is a positive, is that we have seen the prices begin to slow down on the increasing.
Now, there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, prices are going to plummet, I'm just going to wait. But I'll be here to tell you, in our area, because we're Florida and everyone wants to be here and we do a tremendous amount of investment property sales, we're not seeing that. So what we have seen is we've seen some price adjustments. We've seen some units come down a little bit in pricing, but we still don't have the inventory. We still don't have it. Correct. We only have about 2 months of inventory. That's nothing. To be considered a buyer's true market, it's 6 months plus of sitting inventory. We're at about 2. So even though you're seeing more things come on market a little bit, what you're not seeing behind the scenes is all the cancellations that are happening, because either interest rates are gone up or the seller didn't get their price that they wanted, and so they just took it off the market. So I've put 3 condos under contract this past week. Theri's doing the loan on all of them. They're all investment properties. And what was super cool, for the first time in 2 years, is all 3 of my buyers were able to come in town. They were able to look at the property live in person. We still had a multiple offer. That's big. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Like, you can't even get your eyeballs on it.
It would be so fearful to buy a property unseen, and these folks are fortunately getting to come in and
see
step
properties
inside and touch and feel the properties that they're looking to buy.
And in all three cases, I can't disclose to you what I got them under contract for, but let's just say it wasn't list price. It was less than list price. It wasn't exorbitantly low, but it was more in line with the last comps in the building, the last appraisal, because again, we haven't had these just jump in prices unit over unit over unit. So all three of my people super happy, excited. They're all going to make money on these units. And so, the rate conversation really wasn't even, it was a part of your conversation with them.
There's been a shift, for a long, long time. It was about the increased values, and we did run into some crazy appraisal contingencies and things of that nature. And when the property would not appraise for the sales price, there was almost an understanding that took place between seller and buyer prior to that happening. It was almost even understood that it was not going to appraise.
Right. They knew.
And so the buyers were having to come with the understanding that they were going to have to bridge that gap between sales price and appraisal.
Right.
And we've seen that slow down. That's not happening like it was.
Well, so. And even to that point, getting any kind of contingency in an offer, from inspection periods to like an appraisal contingency, has been non-existent the last 2 years. And I can tell you, I just had an inspection done on one of those 3 units that the seller was like, let's have an inspection, it's fine. And then I got appraisal contingencies also on a couple of those units, and the only reason I did that is because there wasn't enough comps in that building that had closed in a recent enough time. The last one had closed back in March, which is like an eternity as far as an appraiser is concerned. And so we wanted to just make sure that all parties understood that in the event it does not appraise, that both parties have the option to either renegotiate that price or cancel, and not to hurt my buyer by doing that.
And that's a new place for us.
It is a new place because it hasn't been the place for the last couple of years.
And so
I was tickled pink that I could get it done, that I got it done for them, and it gave them that peace of mind too.
Yeah.
So all right, so we know that we're not going back down in interest rates,
but we aren't going up is exponentially in value either. So as long as you, for an investment property, you're cash flowing, you're making money, you're covering your expenses, that's all you really need to worry about, because now you're not paying. And don't lose sight of that.
Right.
Don't get so asphyxiated on the interest rate that you lose sight of the purpose of why you're purchasing the property. Purchasing the property as an investment. And it's more important to look at the cash flow numbers and to look at what that payment's going to be versus what that specific interest rate is.
And Theri's going to get you, pre-qualified, more so get you the North Point True Approval, which we talked about in another video. And you're going to know all those numbers up front. Like with the HOA, the taxes, the insurance, what is your output every month going to be? So before we even get out there and look, you're going to be comfortable with whatever that number is. So Theri, where do we go from here? What are we seeing with rates as far as going through the rest of the year?
I'm not a financial expert, and I'm certainly, not necessarily.
Where's your ball, your crystal ball?
Yeah. It's in the shop.
It's in the shop.
It's in the shop.
Oh, dang it.
So, there is an understanding and expectation that we have not necessarily seen the end of the rate increases. I do believe that we have felt them level off a little bit. It seemed like Q1, Q2 of this year, we were literally head spinning because we could not keep up, and from one day to the next you could come in and your rates had not only increased, but some other things that took place in the lending world, changed earlier this year as well. And so third quarter, I think we as lenders have begun to get our feet back underneath us with an understanding that, one, we know how to have the conversations now with our borrowers, and those conversations that we're having today are so much different than the conversations that we were having 9 months ago. And so I feel like we've gotten our bearings, and if there is a rate adjustment or another rate adjustment, and the beliefs are that there will be, we know how to now navigate rate adjustments a lot better than what we did earlier this year.
Yeah, so if you're sitting off on the sidelines thinking that either prices are going to drop and the bottom's going to fall out, it's not. I do this full time. Been doing this for 17 years. I analyze this market with a passion. And if you think rates are going to go back down, we don't see that happening. We see a little bit more increasing. So if you're, it's time to jump in. And that's what my buyers recognize, that, hey, okay, I've been sitting off of the sideline for the last 90 days, kind of waiting and see.
It's gotten worse.
And it's gotten worse. And it's like, now is a great opportunity to get in there and actually have more choices of properties and could put in a good competitive offer and just get the ball rolling and stuff. And of course, if you're renting and you're sitting here waiting, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because if you're renting a property in our area, I mean, it's way more than buying a property. I can guarantee you that.
And chances are they're dealing with increases in their rental rates.
Oh yeah, oh, that's happening too.
So
and I get people reach out like, hey, can you help us find a rental? Well, I don't do that type of business, sorry, but I can point you in the direction of where you maybe can find some rentals, because their prices are going up too, because the expenses of the sellers are also going up, or the owners are going up too. So best thing to do, guys, is reach out to Theri, and she will get the ball rolling for you. She'll talk to you about the different loan programs that are available based on what you're trying to do. She'll put together an estimate for you of how much all of those costs are going to be, so you know going in what your comfort zone is. And make sure that you are ready to go. When you're ready to find a property, jump on my website and go ahead and start a property search. Get those listings emailed to you every day. When you're ready to talk, hey, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, I've been doing this forever. Theri's been doing this forever. How many years? Put you on the spot.
30-ish.
No, not 30? How could you be doing 30 years when you're only 35?
Correct. I was 30-ish years.
You're 30-ish
as a
years,
lender.
yeah, and 17-ish years as a realtor. So all Theri's contact information is going to be at the end of this video for you guys to reach out and talk to her. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of educational videos that I put out every single week. And so you can keep informed of those. And thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to watch the video today, and have a wonderful day from Panama City Beach. Bye.
Bye.